Nagumo and Tenkyu. Aside from the fact that they're both assassins, I wouldn't blame you for thinking that they have almost nothing in common. How could I claim that they're the same when they're so clearly different? However, after looking into both Nagumo and Tenkyu's characters more deeply and really doing a thorough analysis of what makes them tick, I have found that at their cores, they do share one key similarity, and I would like to discuss that. Initially, the idea that Nagumo and Tenkyu are, as I put it, the same might sound ridiculous. I mean, take a look at the two of them. You have Nagumo, who at his core is a trickster. He fights with unconventional tactics, choosing to deceive the enemy, whether it be with his multi-bladed weapon, his near-perfect disguises, or just straight up lying to them in order to get the job done. And then you have Tenkyu, who is a crazy strong archer capable of using anything that can fly as an arrow. He's incredibly proficient up close and from afar, able to literally tear people apart with his arrows or uses insane physicals to knock them around. But all in all, their fighting styles are nowhere near what I would consider similar. Design-wise, they also couldn't be more different. Tenkyu is quite literally nearly the opposite of Nagumo in this department. While Nagumo wears a lot of baggy clothing that hides his frame, Tenkyu is literally introduced to us as naked and has only been seen with a pair of shorts on as clothing. Their hair colors are even near opposites, with Nagumo having black hair and Tenkyu having lighter colored hair. Couple that with the fact that they're literally on opposite teams, with Nagumo formerly working with the Order and now sticking around with Sakamoto's gang, and Tenkyu being on the side of Uzuki, and you have a combination of traits that seem to completely disprove my idea that Nagumo and Tenkyu are the same. So what exactly am I seeing that makes them so similar? If I had to sum it up in one word, it would be motivation. Nagumo and Tenkyu's motivations, the driving force that makes them the way they are and do the things that they do, are fundamentally rooted in the same ideas of friendship and loneliness. For starters, let's take a look at Nagumo. While he's initially introduced as this super mysterious guy with dubious allegiances and loyalties, it's slowly but surely revealed that he just really cares for his friends. He's the only member of the Order that goes out of their way to warn Sakamoto of the 1 billion yen bounty that just got placed on him, and continues to maintain his relationship with Sakamoto even years after his retirement. When the serial killers escape, Nagumo is once again the only Order member to pull up and tell Sakamoto not to worry about it, literally saying that he's doing that because he's Sakamoto's friend. After Izuki's invasion of the JAA base, Nagumo and Hyo visit Sakamoto in the hospital, with Nagumo once again being the only one to actually ask Sakamoto how he's feeling. Hyo is strictly business, while Nagumo at least inquires about Sakamoto's health. The most telling part about Nagumo's true motivations come from Sakamoto's flashback. After Rion disappears, Sakamoto and Nagumo join the Order to try and find her. Eventually, they find out that she just died and Sakamoto moves on, but Nagumo doesn't. Years after his death, Nagumo is still hung up on it, going so far as to spare Yotsurumo's life, threaten his 14-year-old son, and keep his survival a secret just so he can find out more about what happened to Rion. It's also revealed in the flashback that Nagumo wasn't even originally in the assassin department and instead transferred because it seemed more fun. While this next part is possibly a little bit of a stretch, I think this little bit of info implies that Nagumo was pretty lonely prior to meeting Sakamoto and Rion, especially since he's shown just walking alone in the panel. Lastly, we have Nagumo's reaction to Hyo's death. Nagumo is literally the only Order member shown grieving, while the rest of them just kind of move on and claim that Hyo was weak. Ultimately, what this really shows is just how much friendship means to Nagumo, who is literally part of the elite killing squad of the assassin world, not because he really liked the job or because the pay was good, but because he could use his position there to look for his missing friend. If it weren't for Rion's death, the trio of Sakamoto, Nagumo, and Rion would have started their own assassin agency. To Nagumo, his friends mean nearly everything to him, probably because he used to be a little lonely. Now, let's take a look at Tenkyu. When Tenkyu is introduced, he's shown to be this eccentric, kind of dumb guy that's really gullible, but the major thing that's revealed is that he's in the JAA prison because he had a falling out with Uzuki and wants to know how he can make things better and go back to being friends. More specifically, he's hunting down Atari so she can tell him who and where Sakamoto and his friends are, so he can kill them and make things up to Uzuki. Another major thing to note is that as Shin reads Tenkyu's mind, he finds out that Tenkyu would have absolutely zero hesitation killing Hana and Aoi if it meant that he could bring out Sakamoto for a fight. Furthermore, when Shin tells Tenkyu that the only way he and Uzuki can be friends again is if Tenkyu stops killing, Tenkyu is fully compliant, even going so far as to not even defend himself as a prison guard starts throwing hands with him. All of this, from entering the prison to threatening Sakamoto's family, was done by Tenkyu with the ambition of becoming friends with Uzuki again. Tenkyu himself notes this as he runs away from Shin, thinking that he just wants friends and is tired of constantly pissing people off. When he runs into Shin and Heisuke again, he flat out admits that he isn't even familiar with the concept of friendship, but seeing Shin and Heisuke interact makes him jealous. For Tenkyu, friendship is his entire motivation for being an assassin. He heard that Sakamoto was causing trouble for Uzuki, so he wants to kill Sakamoto. He heard that not killing people would fix things with Uzuki, so he stops killing people. And he thinks that Atari can tell him how to become friends with Uzuki again, so he hunts down Atari. So it's clear that for Nagumo and Tenkyu, friendship is the entire reason they do what they do. Their friends mean everything to them, and they're willing to do anything to protect that bond. For Nagumo, this includes threatening to kill Amane, a literal child, and for Tenkyu, this includes threatening to kill both Hana and Aoi, two innocent family members of Sakamoto. This dedication to their friends also informs their philosophies about killing and their demeanors in battle. One of the most striking similarities between Nagumo and Tenkyu is their facial expressions. Nagumo has his signature smile with the up arrow eyes, and Suzuki practically copy and pastes that onto Tenkyu. They're both also really relaxed, even doing the whole two hands behind the head pose while talking a lot and annoying the people around them. Moreover, in the heat of battle, they both seem to carry this cheerful, carefree attitude even when they're constantly surrounded by death. Nagumo is nearly always smiling even as he pulls up into a car and kills like 4 guys, and Tenkyu has a grin on his face as he's literally digging through the corpses of the people he just blew apart. This cheerful attitude in the face of immense brutality really speaks to their philosophies on killing and their general apathy towards the morality of it. For Nagumo, he straight up does not care about the morality of killing. When him, Shishiba, and Osaragi are sent to Kyoto to investigate the return of Yotsumura, Nagumo flat out says that he doesn't think there's a right or wrong when it comes to killing. He simply does it. It's only in the cases where it involves his friends that Nagumo falters, once again speaking to his loyalties. And for Tenkyu, he too does not care about the morality of killing. After he takes out the random prisoners, Heisuke tells Tenkyu that he didn't have to kill them, and Tenkyu responds by saying that it was just kill or be killed, showing his indifference for the lives he just took. Once again, it's only when it concerns his friends does Tenkyu falter in killing, as shown when he temporarily stops because he thinks it'll make him friends with Uzuki again. All in all, Nagumo and Tenkyu are just lonely people who immensely care for their friends. They're assassins, sure, but they don't have a fanaticism towards killing. Instead, they have no belief in it at all, opting to do it in favor of their loyalties to the people they care about. This devotion to their loved ones spills into their philosophies about killing and even partially informs their carefree, casual attitudes in battle. Everything from their facial expressions to the core of what makes them tick shares similarities, truly making Nagumo and Tenkyu the same.